without further ado, Mr. Ron Frost.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to call my speech pizza.
Nice.
No, I'm going to call my speech momentum. I've been fascinated by the word momentum. I've been using it a lot with my coaching, my consulting with my clients. And I realize, I mean, we've got Newtonian law, and we talk about an object in motion stays in motion until something else acts upon it. And that truly momentum is velocity, did I say it right?
Velocity. Yeah.
Velocity times mass. So any object that has greater mass takes a little bit more effort or force to get it moving, but once it's moving, then it's harder to stop it. True? Mm-hmm. Even if it's a dream. We may have big dreams. It might take a lot of energy to get us moving. So what I'd like to talk about is these two, what I would call motivational conditions. We quite often hear people like Tony Robbins talk about, well, it's pain or pleasure, and I don't disagree with that. Pain can really move people. How many people have been moved by pain? Something in their life that just kind of woke them up and said, you know what, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want to do something in my life. I want to live greater. I want to be greater. I want to have greater. And pleasure too. I mean, obviously pleasure. It's that dream that we see. But I look at those conditions and I say, what's happening inside of me? And I look at these two factors that I believe are true for everyone. It's desire and belief. Matter of fact, I would say if you have a goal out here, we talk a lot about having something to shoot at, right? A target. But besides the target, we need these two conditions within ourselves. Desire, matter of fact, I would say an overwhelming desire to succeed is a perfect condition. Secondarily, belief that I can must be there as well. Because if you have desire to succeed and you don't think it's possible, you won't even get off the couch. True?
That's right.
And if you have desire, or no, if you have belief, but you have no desire, be like, well, Michael Phelps got 8 golds. Sure, I get 9 golds. Mm-hmm. I get 9 golds, but tomorrow, I'm just not feeling it today. These two conditions are obvious, right? Say, Ron, they're obvious.
Ron, they're obvious.
Ron, they're obvious.
Ron, they're obvious.
Okay, they're obvious. What stops us? Those move us, what stops us? This is the flip side. Quite often we don't necessarily look at what stops us. But I believe that if we look at the things that resist, that slow us down, that stops us, and we become greater aware of what it is, we can truly free ourselves up to move in a direction. Keep the momentum going, right? What I found that stops us is number one, not being on purpose. Not being in an integrity with your core values. If for some reason it just doesn't feel like it's you, but you're doing it, perhaps sometimes we mirror and we do what we think our father or our family or our high school guidance counselor, that was the last speech. Or perhaps we see these ideal that we see like on TV. We want to be like that person. What if it's not you? So listening to yourself and knowing your core values. Interestingly, I was working with somebody that had a conflicting core value. At least we thought. Financial success and family. And in his mind, he believed this took so much time that I was losing the time over here. Quite often we have this belief that financial success requires a lot of effort, a lot of time. When I sat down with him, we started exploring, well, what about saving for college savings plan. And like the light bulb went off. He's found a new purpose. We connected a purpose that had a financial meaning behind it that truly made him give him purpose for doing what he was doing and contributing in the area of family. We can do that with ourselves as well. Discovering and looking at our core values. So core values and not being in integrity with them certainly is a resistance. How many times have we ever sat there and said, what am I doing? This is, for some reason, I've been living this life right along. I've been doing this thing, and it's just not me. I'm just not feeling it anymore. Low desire if you're not in integrity with your core values. The next thing that slows us down and stops us is these things that we call limiting beliefs. Right? It could be a habit. It could show up as a habit. It could show up as a voice that maybe we're conscious of or not conscious of. It could be a pattern of speaking. But if we believe that we can't, then no matter how much desire, we're stopped. Right? Or what about worthiness? A lot of us have that. That feeling of not being worthy. Quite often we're taking and we're creating and we're believing, and it's kind of like that Abraham Hicks. If you're not allowing, you're in your own way. You could be going through the grocery store of life and putting in pizza or putting in caviar, right? And you're like, this is what I want caviar. And you get up to the checkout line and then you're getting ready to check out and you're like, oh my God, am I deserving of this caviar? I better go back and get pizza. And you go back and you're like, oh, my dream, caviar. You go back up to the checkout line. Sir, this is your caviar? I'm not worthy of that caviar. Worthiness is one of many hidden beliefs. Understanding, reframing hidden beliefs is the key to get yourself moving forward. So, in summary, what moves us is an overwhelming desire to succeed and a belief that I can. What resists us? What stops us? Is that feeling of perhaps I'm not worthy. It's that limiting belief. And you know what? We all have them. We can't ignore them. Truly, if we want to find freedom, we've got to sometimes do a little digging. And not being in integrity with our true selves. If you can liberate yourself, you'll be causing the momentum to get whatever type of pizza you want. And that is my speech.